In this video, we're going to continue our lesson on roots and radical expressions. I want you to take a look at what we're being asked to find here. It says find the real roots of the following. There is a difference between what we're going to do now and what we did in the last two videos. In the last two videos, we were asked to take a cube root of a number, and we wrote the cube root sign, or we wrote the square root sign, or we wrote the fourth root sign. Here our signs are given to us. So we need to go back to our definition up here as to what we're looking for. For an odd root, you only get one answer, so we can go ahead and solve the odd roots and get our single answer. But for our even roots, we have both a positive and a negative answer, and we need to figure out which one they're asking us for. So if we find a principal root, which has a positive on the outside, they're only asking us for that positive answer. If we have a negative symbol on the outside of an even root, they're asking us for the negative answer. So let's go ahead and solve these. When we were taking the cube root of 8 before, we said that if we factor just the positive version of the number, we could then apply our negative sign on the outside. When we take the cube root of 8, we end up with a group of 3, which is what we're looking for. So the cube root of 8 is going to equal 2, but because we have a negative under an odd root, the answer is going to be negative. And we can test that out by multiplying -2 times -2 times -2. That equals 4 times -2, and that equals a -8. And so our answer checks out. Okay, so for this example, we're being asked to take a square root, and I'm just going to go ahead and write the square up here. Whenever you have something complex under your root symbol, the first thing you should do is you should multiply this number out. And when we multiply -2 times -2, we're going to get a 4. So this is an even root. Once we have an even root, we need to decide, are they asking us for the principal root, which is positive, or are they asking us for its opposite, which is negative? In this case, since we don't have a negative on the outside, they're asking us only for the positive answer. And we know that 4 factors into 2 times 2. We're looking for groups of 2. We have one group of 2. So the answer here is positive 2. So let's take a look at the cube root of 64. For an odd root, we only get one answer, so we're good here. So let's factor 64. It factors into 4 times 16, and 16 factors into 4 times 4. We have a nice group of 3 here. So we know our answer is going to be, it's going to have a 4 in it. Because this is a positive number, it's also going to be a positive answer. Now we just need to determine how many decimal places. Well, we have 3 decimal places in what we're taking the cube root of. If we divide the number of decimal places by our root, that gives us the number of decimal places in our answer. So 3 decimal places divided by 3 gives us 1 decimal place in our answer. So 0.4 is our answer. Now let's take a look at the fourth root of -81. Before we even start this, we see a negative under an even index. So if we pull out our I, our imaginary portion, what are we being asked for? We're only being asked for real roots. There are none. As soon as you have to pull an I out, we're no longer looking at any real numbers. All right, so let's take a look at the square root of 0.000081. Well, we know that 81 factors into 9 times 9. And we're looking for, since it's a square root, we're looking for groups of 2. And we have a perfect group of 2 here. So we know that our answer is going to have 9 in it. And we also know that since this is an even root, we need to determine whether we're looking for the positive root or the negative root. Since we don't have a negative sign on the outside, we're looking only for the positive answer. So how many decimal places do we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 underneath our radical sign. So if we take 6 decimal places and divide that by 2, our answer should have 3 decimal places. So we need a 0 and a 0. Our answer is 0.009, and it's the positive.